Okay. Okay, cool. Is it filming?
Oh, it's been rolling.
Oh, it's been rolling.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Hey everyone, it's Dr. Kaylee here, also known as Kale's Baby, with the House of Medics, and today I want to talk about gonorrhea and give a personal story time. I think it's very important that we break stigma about STDs. They happen to anyone and they happened to me. So I wanted to help breaking the stigma and help people know who you are getting treated by has experienced very similar things to you. So I wanted to share my story with you guys today. So embarrassing trauma dump ensues. Here is my story. I had recently gone through a breakup and had my first hookup post-breakup. They went down on me and there was no sex, I guess, other than the oral that I experienced. It wasn't very good, and I did shut it down from there. I was like, I'm not feeling this anymore. So a few days later, I start getting some like burning and pain in my pelvis. And I was like, what is going on? What am I feeling? I have an IUD, so I thought that my IUD potentially was misplaced or something like that. I felt through the strings and I couldn't feel them, so I took myself to the ED. And when I went into A&E, they saw me and they said, this sounds like pelvic inflammatory disease. Have you had any new sex recently? And I said, no, I mean, someone went down on me, but that doesn't count, right? And they said, no, that probably wouldn't count or suffice, but we'd recommend that you go to a sexual health clinic instead of with us today, because we won't be doing your testing and we can give you the medications that you'd need, but it's better to know what's actually going on. Cut to, I'm in the sexual health place and I'm getting my swabs done and everything. They don't think that I have pelvic inflammatory disease. They tell me I have a UTI and thrush and send me on my merry way. I was kind of confused because I've had UTIs before and I was like, this feels very different. But I was also very relieved to hear that they didn't think I had anything. So I continued having these symptoms, and about a week passed and I got a text saying, you have gonorrhea. I was like, what on earth? How did I get gonorrhea? Like, that's crazy. Little did I know, which is why I'm making this video, you can get gonorrhea from throat. So that person would have had gonorrhea in their throat and they gave it to me by giving me oral. So that was confusing. It's more on the rare side compared to penetration, but that's why they do swabs for throat, penis or vagina, and anus when you're testing for gonorrhea and chlamydia for situations like these. So I take myself, I'm at this point, I'm in Canada instead of in the UK. So I have to take myself to the emergency department to get the right medications that I need. It's COVID times, so everyone's masking up and I'm in line and they say, how can we help? And I go, I've got gonorrhea. Can you help? And they go, how do you know? And I showed them this text. So I'm waiting, I'm feeling very vulnerable, and I get told that I have to get an injection in my butt, and I was very scared. So this injection in your butt, when the people say that, it's just actually into your tissue in your glute. It's not going like in your butt. So just want to tell you that. It does sting though, so just prepare for that if it ever happens to you. And I took my medications for the week that I needed to, and everything cleared up and it was great. And they asked me to repeat the test to make sure that it had cleared. So I came back to the UK and I just didn't have any more symptoms. Everything cleared up, which was amazing. And I used my vibrator. I washed my vibrator after and before, and I even remember being like, I want to wash this again because I was scared because I remember I'd used it when I had these symptoms. So pleasured myself, and 2 days later, I have the same symptoms again. And then I did a test and I had gonorrhea. So I'd given myself gonorrhea this time. So the first time I didn't even get it from sex. Second time I gave it to myself. And I go into the sexual health clinic. I'm distraught at this point. They are telling me that they didn't think the original one cleared. And I said, no, my symptoms have. So I was doing hella research, trying to find out what had happened and why it was hanging about. And essentially, there was micro tears in my vibrator, which can happen if you're not using enough lubrication with your vibrator. And it held on to the infection while I was away on my holiday. So I came back and gave myself gonorrhea again, which was wild. So same thing, hit up the sexual health clinic, got another injection in my butt, and was just kind of praying that this didn't happen again. I felt cursed by the gods because this is, again, the first person I'd hooked up with post-relationship, and it was such a like traumatic situation. So thankfully when I got retested, because when you do get a positive result, they want you to retest afterwards, I was negative, and I'm very, very grateful for that. And so it's really important. I wanted to tell this story today because A, it's silly, and B, I think it will help a lot of people. So if that story resonated with you, please give me a like or a comment and follow the House of Medics for more. I finished the video, but I couldn't leave it without telling you I got rid of that vibrator. I threw it right out and I got myself a new one. So don't worry about that. And I would recommend you do the same if you ever come across this happening to you. Cool.
That's the perfect outro.